My husband and I just started on our biggest project yet. We moved into this property about 3 years ago, and it has this beautiful, over 100-year-old barn on it.
Harley got a big bone.
And while it is absolutely stunning, it is completely unusable to us in many ways. We've been storing hay in it, but over this past summer especially, we noticed that it's leaning more than it ever has. In order to save this barn and make it useful for our farm as we continue to grow, doing crops and animals and raising our own grass-fed beef and all the things, it needs some serious TLC.
What was that, David?
I think my blade is a little dull.
Really now?
Making the decision to do this has been 3 years in the making. We've talked about it since we bought this property, but it's a huge task, and it's going to require a lot of tools that we don't necessarily have. In order for our farm to keep growing, we have to do something. So after Thanksgiving this last year, we started construction on the barn.
Do you need a new blade?
Yeah, it's usually the solution to a dull blade. He's here, the chicken.
It's okay, I'm not as frightened of him anymore. He's been put in his place by a few others.
Dad did it.
How much is in there? Do you see the red thing floating? It's up here at about 3 inches.
Can you help?
Can you do it? I'll help you. Oh, it's heavy.
It's heavy for me.
You can dump it?
No.
You're not.
Let's drink the water.
You think they'll like the water? You want to get the red thing? You want me? It's probably in cold water, huh? I'll get it.
Essentially, we have to rip out the entire bottom half as the concrete wall in the back is cracking and falling, pushing the entire structure over. Luckily, because of the way this barn is made, we can completely separate the top half from the bottom half. So David has been making cribbage to jack up the top half of the barn and put new posts in and all of the things. And somehow we've got to rip out the back wall.
If you haven't seen me recently, been super busy. We had harvest, we had spreading cover crop, and so we filmed all of that, and at the ending of spreading cover crop and when we went through with the disc and we disced it in about 1/2 inch, we ended up losing our GoPro. So at this point we don't have a GoPro, we don't have any of that footage, so we look like we haven't done much, but we have. We just don't have our equipment. It's somewhere out in a 22-acre field. That was pretty disappointing, but we have a lot going on, a lot to go through. We decided that we really need to redo our barn. A little focus here, we'll see. It kind of came to a point where we were stacking hay in here, selling a lot of the hay, and we just kind of noticed that the barn was dropping more and more. So if you can see, this is our back cement wall, and it's just all cracked, all falling in, and that's pushing the whole barn over. And if you look over here, we went ahead and straightened a couple of beams, and you can see just how much that top and bottom have moved over. You know, that's almost a foot, 9 inches to a foot that it had scooted over. That's completely off of the footing that it was. Most of it's not nearly as bad against that back wall, because that back wall has been kind of holding it into place there. But it's super cracked, and we were just noticing that it was falling more and more, and so I kind of made the emergency decision to, it's time to start on the barn. So that's what we've been doing. We cracked this feed trough that was right here. That sat up same height as this. So we used a sledgehammer, pulled all that out. We got all the fill. A friend is letting us borrow their skid steer, and we're putting it kind of all up there. We're making where the dog run was / the entry to the chicken coop, trying to flatten that all out. And then we're gonna dig out behind all of the barn. They actually come to mark utilities here early next week. However, all of the utilities are just gonna be right along the road. So it's been super busy for us. We got a bunch of stuff going on. If you look back there, we did get a dump trailer. More to come about that. I really want to do a review about it. I do really like it, and I think it was a wise investment, especially for everything that we now have going on. So we'll kind of show you guys what's going on with the barn. We'll take you along with us. This isn't going to be a week project. This is probably going to take quite some time. But we hope to at least get it to a stable position where we can use the barn in the future, because we don't have the money to go ahead and just tear the whole thing down, build a tin shed. For the size that it is, it's like 28 by 60 or 58, something like that. And so it's a nice structure. It has life left in it. It just needs some help to stay alive. So we're excited to do this, excited to get this going. And yeah, so we really hope that you guys follow along with us remodeling our 100-year-old barn. There's not a whole lot of videos out there of people doing it. There's some videos of people jacking up one corner, kind of redoing little sections here and there, but nothing what we're gonna do. So we hope you guys follow and subscribe and kind of watch us and try to save our barn.